Okay, I'm live. So, for those of you who have been keeping up with my streams, I appreciate it. And for those of you who have followed, thank you so much. I see that Tiny Bad Cat was my most recent one. Thank you. And there was another one prior to that when I was offline. I appreciate that. So, the most important updates that I could probably tell you about my future streams, and you'll have to forgive me if I cough because right now I have like some chest problems or like I don't know, it's like chest pain and like my lungs are pretty messed up. So I noticed that when I watch my streams, because I do watch my own streams, I check like different sections of each of the videos. I always try to make improvements based off of what I see. So for example, like when I was originally starting off on Twitch, I had just the webcam, that's it. And then I had a webcam and a goal bar. And then I started to add a more professional layout to the streams. So what I noticed in when I made the new overlay, I was watching back at the videos and the overlay was kind of like too big. And at the same time, it kind of like blocked off a lot of the screen. And what I noticed also is that a lot of the professionals, especially when it comes to YouTube or Twitch, they don't really have too much of an overlay. And to be honest, as a person who watches John Wolf since 2015, which I've almost seen like every one of his videos, um, I prefer when I look at an overlay that isn't like cluttering up the whole screen. I don't really care to know who's like the recent donator or the recent follower or any of that stuff when I'm watching someone else's video. Instead, I'm only focused on the streamer, which made me come to the realization that when I made my most recent videos, I removed some of the overlay. I made it smaller. I had different angles of the camera so that way, like if I need to move to the top left, top right, bottom right, I had that ability to do that. There's still some certain errors that I notice that when I'm in my videos. There's three things that I notice that's a problem, and I'm working on it currently to improve it. Is one, the game usually tends to be a little too loud, and when I'm using my microphone, sometimes my audio when I'm speaking can be like completely overwashed by how the game is like so loud. You know, the characters could be talking or there's just too much fucking music. So I'm actually balancing out the streams where my videos will have less volume on the game, more on the microphone, and you can still hear the game just perfectly fine. And it'll be well balanced out. It will be a little bit of trial and error, but I think I have a general idea of what to look for because I do record prior to doing all these tests. I'll look back at the recording. I'll be like, okay, is the volume here? Is the volume there? Is my mic okay? And I noticed in horror games I sound my best because there's not too much crazy noise going on, but when I play things like A Hat in Time or whatever, it's just too much fucking shit going on. And to be honest, this is what made me want to improve the audio. The second thing is obviously the overlay. I'm going to be probably minimizing the overlay to the point where I'm just going to have the webcam, the gold bar, and that's probably all I'm ever going to have. Like, I might have a viewer count on the top left, but I'm still figuring out how to fucking code that thing because it's really not as easy as you think. For something that's so simple, just to view how many viewers are on screen, it's fucking complicated. Like, it's so stupid, like, how complicated something so simple is. And a lot of these things, making the overlays, are also very complicated, you know? And it's because it looks different according to each way of how somebody actually does their stream. If somebody who's doing a stream on their computer, it might look good on their screen. However, when someone using a phone or somebody's using a laptop, it looks different. It might look smaller letters, bigger letters, it might be fucking mashed in. It's stupid how much testing you have to do prior to all of this. But, you know, this is things that I'm learning. These are things that I'm improving on. And these are things I didn't even do when I was back in 2017. I had 500 followers back then in 3 months, and I wasn't even doing any of that stuff. Now that I'm actually doing something more improving, that's good, you know. The most important thing, which is the last thing that I want to talk about, so when I look at the way that I export my videos to YouTube, the thing is that I do have like 5 categories of games that I do stream. Like, for example, one of them's like adventure, fantasy, like whimsical things, cute things. That's category one. Then we have the action, adventure, shooting, art, like shit like that. And then we have 3, which is more of like the horror. Anything survival horror, horror, thriller, crime, stuff like that. The more darker games. The 4th type I have is like the more competitive games. And the competitive games, to be honest, I'm probably not even going to really be doing a whole lot of that because honestly, I'm not a big fan of Fortnite. I don't care about Destiny. No one cares about Destiny. Destiny was like fucking ages ago. Another thing that I also have on my fifth category, that's not until the near future. That's when I'm out in the middle of nowhere, streaming in some cave that's a half a kilometer underground, getting attacked by a real life bear or I don't know, fucking poisonous insects or something. I don't know. That's my treasure hunting category, okay? You're gonna see my training sessions and everything. For example, when I show you guys, I have my most of my gear, like all of my equipment is all here, and so that is for the near future. You'll see my training sessions. You'll see when I go out into the middle of nowhere, 50 miles in the middle of nowhere. You're gonna see this. I may not be able to live stream it, but I'll be able to record it on a GoPro and post it up to my YouTube. Which then people who follow my Twitch would also be known to go to the frickin' YouTube. Everything that I stream on Twitch 95% of the time will go straight to YouTube because my videos do expire after 7 days, so that's a big problem. Um, Another thing that I also noticed as like a last thing, whenever I'm streaming any game at all when it comes to Twitch, I was using a noise suppressor for my Yeti mic, but the Yeti mic has kind of a problem. It's kind of like it picks up noise all over, like everywhere, and that's a very big problem. And so I was using a noise suppressor, but the thing about the noise suppressor, every time I was using it and I looked back at the videos, it would always make me sound like I had a lisp, like I sounded like some flamboyant person, and it's just like what the fuck? I don't have a lisp, when I talk or laugh or I don't know, when I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? Blah, blah, blah. It always sounded like I had a lisp. And it was kind of pissing me off because that's not how I sound. I actually did a different comparison of how I sound when I do a voice recording on Discord, when I do a voice recording on my phone, when I do a voice recording using the suppressor on the microphone for OBS Studio, and then when I use the OBS Studio's microphone without the suppressor. And to be honest, the suppressor is pretty bad. And I noticed that the lisp or like whatever, it really comes from like my microphone being overwashed by the noise of the video game. So it actually kind of muffles the microphone and it makes me sound a little weird. So that's where I came to the first conclusion that the fix of the audio needs to be that the game needs to be lower down and the microphone needs to be a little more clear. I'm still going to use a suppressor, it's just I'm not going to use it as to the extent of what it's at right now. Because, the thing about horror games, I think it's probably like the best category. It seems to be doing a lot more, like, I don't know, like I'm getting a lot of viewership when it comes to horror games, perhaps because it's the least streamed category that you can never find on Twitch. Everything's all retro, RPG, old games, Fortnite, Minecraft. It's always the same shit. It's been the same shit for like a decade and a half, and that's why I figure that when it comes to certain games that I need to be streaming, it needs to be shit that people have never seen. Games that people don't play themselves. Like everybody's played Zelda, everybody's played Pokemon. So who the hell wants to watch someone play Zelda and Pokemon when you've played it over 100 times in your lifetime? You should be roughly about the same age as me, or if not older than me. And so you've probably played Pokemon and Zelda and all these other games like Minecraft and whatever for a decade and a half. You don't care to watch someone else do it, but you would care, however, to watch somebody do something that you've never seen, you know? And that is where it came to the conclusion that I need to start streaming indie horror games and games that people don't play. So I'm actually looking at the list on Itch.io, just like what John Wolf did, and continue off where he left off. He stopped streaming horror games. He used to do a lot of horror games from Itch.io. These are indie game developers, and I'm a freaking game designer. As I told you guys, I am buying a Wacom tablet or an art tablet so I can start designing my games faster, because I am licensed to be able to make games and sell them on PC, on Windows, on, you know, anything like that. So the thing is that I do need this digital art pad because it's going to make it a lot faster for me to make the assets. And as soon as I actually start making more developments on my actual video games, I'm going to start releasing details. See, right now, my Instagram is kind of more for my real life things, like what my more personal things, you know, like what am I doing in real life, or did I change my look or something? That's more of a personal thing. Twitch is more of like my gaming thing and any kind of updates and all that stuff. YouTube is the same thing, except YouTube is more of like the permanent documents section for where you can go back and see things from 10, 20 years later whenever I am streaming. But for Twitter, which is now known as XCOM, is that Twitter is going to be for my more professional reasons. It's going to be specifically anything to do with my game designs, or anything that's doing with the business, or anything to do with the treasure hunting. All that is going to be on Twitter. And the same thing with Patreon. Okay, I haven't been posting any updates on Patreon or Twitter because I haven't really released any details about the games yet. But once I do, you'll see it there. But for now, I'm just using Twitch, YouTube, and sometimes Instagram. To be honest, I don't fucking care about it. I see a lot of ridiculous shit on it, and I don't really care for a lot of the ridiculous shit on Instagram. You know, I really only use it just to watch animal videos. That's really the only reason I go there. But aside from that, I had one more thing I needed to talk about, and you know what? I'll probably do that in another video anyway. But I am going to be working 6 days this week. As I told you, I already worked yesterday. I'm going to be going to work tonight. Hopefully I don't run into any fucking stupid people, because one fucking stupid person threw the damn dice across the table and hit my fucking knuckle, and I wanted to break his head on the fucking table. You son of a bitch. Yeah, you know, you're gonna see me stream more. So keep in mind that when I do actually start exporting the videos to YouTube, you should be really looking at the playlists, because I'm trying to section off each of the games that I stream. I don't want to have like a one big fucking 8-hour video and I have to section this whole damn video to re-upload it to YouTube. So that's why I section off my streams every 2 hours and I switch games. And it's to make it easier on me as a very brand new freaking Twitch streamer, that I can export the video immediately over to YouTube, and it's a 2-hour video, hour-and-a-half video. I don't have to fucking re-upload this thing or cut the video and edit it. Eventually I do plan to do more professional YouTube things, but right now I'm mostly focused on what I have to do to survive. And right now that is casino dealing, and that is improving my Twitch stream for you guys, and trying to figure out ideas of how to be more professional on my streams. Okay, I'm always going to be me, but I'm talking professional as in I don't have to keep on switching scenes or fixing little tweaking errors when I'm streaming. You know, it looks stupid. And I'm working on those things. Okay, so these are all the big updates that you should be looking for. And aside from that, just know, if I ever someday, you know, could ever, I don't know, fix something about my streams, honestly, I hate the way I sound when I'm on my freaking Twitch. Okay, like when I'm using the noise suppressor, like I told you, I don't even like the way I sound. I like the way I sound on the phone. I don't like the way I sound on Twitch. And I'm fixing that issue right now. Okay, I'm not going to be one of those VTubers using a fucking voice mod and then, you know, finding out I sound like some robot or something. It's stupid, okay? But anyways, I gotta go to work, but I hope I see you guys soon. Thank you for the follows, and thank you for everybody who's been there to watch and interact with me, because it sucks to talk to yourself on the phone or on the camera. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.